Hi, everybody. Welcome to Better Lait Than Never. Shit.
I'm not actually inside a women's prison at the moment.
The horniness just went up to like 11.
Good afternoon.
Good evening. I'm going to turn this down. I'm just going to get going. It's Tuesday evening, 6:46 p.m. And you go, Bag Milk, well, why are you recording Better Late Than Never today? Because tomorrow morning, I am on a flight to Vancouver. We are off to watch game 1 and 2. So I just want to get this done this evening so that I can just kind of get it out of the way. I'm going to try to record a bonus episode of the podcast with the boys in the hotel room, but we'll see how it goes. So I just want to make sure that you guys got an episode, that me sponsors are happy, and that we had a little bit of content to talk about leading into the series versus Vancouver. So what do we got? A shout out to the audio department, of course. The audio department works to create a safe space for creativity and collaboration for artists and musicians to realize their potential and share their message through sound and story. Theaudiodepartment.ca, that's where you need to go. That's where you can book some studio time, record a podcast just like this one, or something completely different. Perhaps some kind of spoken word poetry jam. I'm not saying that's your thing, but if it is, you record it at the audio department. Gotcha. Starting off the podcast, again, I said I'm going to Vancouver tomorrow. Flight is at 7 a.m., so I'm going to be up bright and early, and that's why I'm recording the podcast right now. I want to make sure that you got something. I want to make sure that you're ready. I want to make sure that you are prepared for the series that is about to come up starting tomorrow night at Rogers Arena in Vancouver. The chirps are going back and forth already. The thing is, I feel like Oilers fans have done a very good job of just maintaining an even keel here. We've been here before. We're acting, well, at least most of us are acting like we've been here before. There's a lot of fans out in Vancouver where they're counting their chickens, as it were, based on the way that the regular season went. And I don't know that that is the best move to have here. I see an Edmonton Oilers team that is very, very good, very motivated, very deep. We got some new line combos we got to talk about. So I'm just hoping all of the chirps we received as soon as the Game 6 win over Nashville happened, all the chirps that we received in the nation's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of our social channels, I hope those age poorly. But for all of us Edmonton fans, all of us Oilers fans, we've been here before. We know what it's like to get through the second round. We know what it's like to lose in the second round. We know that the playoffs are not a smooth path forward. Let's act accordingly. More importantly, let's discuss the fact that Milf Manor is back.
Oh, yeah, now we're talking. I don't want to talk about hockey. Satan wants to talk about Milf Manor. Milf Manor, too. They're recording it in Canada, do you know that? There are so many interesting opportunities that come about when they are in Canada, in our backyard. Can we talk about the Milfs? Can we talk about the Milfs? Can we talk about the Milfs?
I've got a question, Satan.
Yes, Quads. What is it that you need?
I'm sorry if this is stupid, but what is a MILF exactly? I've heard the word before, but I've been too scared to Google it or risk never becoming Prime Minister of Canada when they look at my cookies on my computer. When the only cookies I really want are Rainbow Chips Ahoy. I think they're delicious.
Well, how do we explain this to young David? Well, a MILF is a woman of a certain vintage, Quads. A certain vintage that makes Satan's loins burn. There's something about a certain woman with experience and a couple of stories to tell that really gets Satan's juices flowing.
I still don't think I understand.
Maybe when you're older, Quads. Maybe when you're older, we will tell you. But what I got to say is I watched the first 2 episodes of Milf Manor 2. As it were. They're filming somewhere in Canada at a resort. And it's the thing that I noticed first off is last season, in season 1, we had a lot of moms that I would not necessarily consider MILFs, more so that they were willing participants in this ridiculous idea. This year, though, we've got some moms, we've got some grandmas in here that, you know, They work. They work for the name of the show. They've all got hilarious stories to tell. And personally, my favorite so far is Barbie, who is 45. This former stripper turned marketing executive is super confident and secure in who she is. Barbie doesn't take herself too seriously, but is not afraid to get spicy when pushed. Her toxic trait is drama. She will never avoid confrontation, and hell, she might even start one. These bios on Entertainment Weekly are fantastic. So Barbie's probably my favorite just because she's sassy. She's already telling everybody how she used to be a stripper, and then she gets mad when people be like, oh, really, you were a stripper? It's the best. Christina, I'm watching you. I see you. Crystal, 48. She is a firecracker, this one. I think she is going to be up to all kinds of mischief. Jamie, 51, is a Pilates instructor or something like that, like a aerobics instructor, something like that. Anyway, and then we've got Kelly, 59, and Lynette, 50, who round out the MILFs. This year's twist is so good, I only want to give it a round of applause. Last year, if you remember on Milf Manor, the dating pool that the women had was also their sons. So they essentially were watching their sons hit on the other MILFs. Hilarity ensued. This year, I thought they were going to do the same thing, but maybe with more willing mom-son combos. That is not the case this year. We have got a different twist entirely, and so far, at least through 2 episodes, your boy Bag Milk is into it. Am I sad that I'm probably going to miss an episode or 2 when I'm in Vancouver covering game 1 and 2? I'm not going to say that I'm not. I might be. Maybe I am. I don't want to talk about it. But that's a story for another day. The other thing I want to mention before we get to the news that is fantastic, we are winding down Big Brother Canada. If you have not watched Big Brother Canada before, but you do like the American version, you got time. Go back. It's all on demand. I mean, I guess depending on who your provider is. It's all on demand if you want it, and it's great. There's way more chaos. The sponsored bits are hilarious. There's more fun kind of games. There's more people who don't necessarily watch Big Brother all the time. There's just more variability. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. You know? Let's get to the news. The news is brought to you by Star Mechanical. Star Mechanical is one of Edmonton's biggest locally owned and operating plumbing and heating businesses. They've been working within the community for over 20 years, and many of the homes built here in Edmonton over the last 2 decades have had their plumbing and heating systems installed by Star Mechanical. They offer 24/7 emergency services. They work to fit within your budget. Visit them at starmechanical.ca to schedule an appointment. We are starting off the news with a look at tomorrow's game 1 between the Oilers and the Canucks. Thank you. Starting off, no Adam Henrique, at least for game 1, so saith Chris Knobloch. This is the playoffs, though, so I wouldn't also be surprised if they go, oh, well, he's actually in for game 1. But I don't think he will be. So today at practice, before game 1, they had new line combos. Matthias Janmark was up in Henrique's spot with Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. Nuge, Draisaitl, Kane stayed the same. Holloway, McLeod, Perry stayed the same. And then Fogle and Brown potentially making his playoff debut, flanking either Derek Ryan or Sam Carrick, who were taking turns in that spot. According to Jason Gregor, Henrique still not skating. Seems unlikely he will play in tomorrow's game 1. So who's going to step up? Matthias Janmark in practice getting the bump to the first line, though Chris Knobloch said, and I'm paraphrasing, that spot is probably going to be held by committee. So what I'm thinking is I'm looking at the other 3 left wingers, Nuge, Holloway, Fogle. All 3 of those guys are probably going to rotate at some point in and out of that first line. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Fogle gets the most minutes alongside McDavid and Hyman. He is the most skilled of those left wingers, who's not Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who seems to be firmly placed on that line with Draisaitl and Kane. And he's got more experience than Holloway. Although Holloway had a fantastic first round against the LA Kings, we'll see what happens with Fogle. There's more to that player. There's more to Fogle. I think we can get it out of him here in round 2. But we're going to need contract year Fogle.
Listen, we were talking about him earlier. We were just saying, listen, Fogle, you are an unrestricted free agent here at the end of this year. Whether or not the Oilers win the Stanley Cup.
What the hell are you saying, whether or not? Of course they're going to win the Stanley Cup.
All right. Well, if they win the Stanley Cup and Warren Fogle doesn't contribute a big way to getting that job done, then he's not going to get the big payday we probably expect from him.
I think there's more in Warren Fogle. I believe in Warren Fogle. Contract year for Warren Fogle was on fire all season. First round wasn't his best, but I also think that going up against the Canucks, they are... Yeah, I think there's going to be more space for a guy like Fogle to do his thing. The Canucks, they just don't play the trap. So I think there's going to be more space with a guy that has wheels like Fogle, who likes to generally charge into the opposing offensive zone. I think there's going to be more space for them. But who's going to step up? If Adam Henrique is not going to be in the lineup, which it seems like he's not for tomorrow, who steps up? Also, who's going to be the 4C? Derek Ryan played well in the last 2 games of the series against LA. Sam Carrick, you know he's going to be itching to get back in. We shall see what happens. Connor Brown also is going to be potentially making his playoff debut. You know he's going to be amped up. Dylan Holloway kind of stole his spot there down the stretch, and who's going to say he didn't deserve it? Not me. Not me. I just want to know who steps up. As for the Canucks side, per Frank Saravalli, it was his birthday today, by the way. Sources say Canucks goaltender Thatcher Demko is out through at least Game 4 of this Round 2 series versus the Oilers. Demko has been skating and progressing, big week ahead, but the earliest possible return is Game 5, and that's probably pushing it. But Game 6 and 7 could get interesting if they are indeed necessary. If Game 4 is no-go and Game 5 is questionable, would an extra 2 days really make that much difference? Or are the Canucks setting up their star goaltender just to go right back in and get hurt again? Because that's what it seems like to me. I'm fine with that if that's what they want to do. It seems really mean to Demko and his potential future career. But if the Canucks want to play that game, then so be it. It's fine with me. Right?
You're evil. You're probably more evil than me, you know.
That's untrue.
I can read your inside thoughts. People that listen to this podcast need to know the darkness that lives within you.
We'll talk about that later. Today I was on Canucks Conversation talking to my man Quads.
Thank you for doing that, by the way. It's always so fun to have you on the show.
Happy to do it, buddy. But today, as I was waiting to go on and do my segment, my hit, whatever you want to call it, I noticed that Harmon and Quads, they don't have a lot of faith in the Oilers' defense. At all. Beyond Bouchard, Ekholm, they think the rest of the defense is essentially trash. And I find that interesting given that they were all pretty good for the most part in round 1 against the Kings. I'm not saying they were perfect, but I am saying they were pretty damn good. Are they trash?
I think they are. I think you guys are in trouble on defense, Big Milk. I told you that.
Listen, Quads. I'm having none of that from you. You got to explain that mustache. What's going on with that mustache?
Listen. Just because I can't grow a glorious duster yet doesn't mean I shouldn't try for the playoffs. If you look at the video for Canucks Conversation, you will see a man who is driven, a man who is handsome, and a man with a fiery mustache that the ladies absolutely love.
I don't think your girlfriend wants more ladies to love your mustache, if I'm being honest.
I know she doesn't want any ladies to love my mustache, but that doesn't mean the ladies can deny their love for Quads, or maybe it's lust. Go check yourself. Subscribe to Canucks Conversation, or at least watch the video with Bag Milk and you'll see it. I'm very, very cute. Very cute indeed.
All right, Quads. No problem. It's going to be a fun series with the folks over at Canucks Army. Yes, we're going to talk about what's on the ice. But what goes on behind the scenes between the fan bases and the two websites, the sister websites, Oilersnation.com and CanucksArmy.com, is going to be a blast. So watch out for a lot more content. Quads and I each did views from the other side on our respective websites over the last handful of days. Quads, the article I did with him is up today, posted it first thing this morning. Go check that one out, Oilersnation.com. Talking about the fans, though, it is interesting to look on Reddit and on Twitter and see that Vancouver and Calgary fans are joining up to cheer against the Oilers. Now, the funny part to me is that Calgary fans, I don't know if you want their support, quite honestly. They could be a fan base that knows the least about what is going on and what makes a successful team in at least Western Canada. Prove me wrong. Find me a team in Western Canada that knows less about hockey than the Flames fans. Oh, it's probably the Canucks fans. You all saw the video. You saw that 10-year-old chirping Jack Campbell, even though he hasn't played since December. That's what we're up against here, people. And that's why we just need to stay quiet. We just need to maintain our calm. We need to maintain our composure, because those fools over in Vancouver, those fair weather compadres, they only cheer when the team is good. They're going to be amped up to cheer for things that don't make sense. And we as Oilers fans, our job is to maintain composure through it all. Remember, we're the ones that have been here before. They are passengers. They are visitors. They are going to lose. I'm picking Oilers in 6. Hit me up with your prediction. JSBM Bagmilk on Twitter. Hi, my name is Bagmilk on Instagram. What's your prediction? I'm just curious. I am just curious. I just thought it was kind of cute. The Calgary fans and Vancouver fans were like, let's cheer together against the Edmonton Oilers because they're the better team of the 3. And I just can't have them having any success. Well, if you want to know who should be Canada's team, since there only are 2 left, one team has 19 Canadians on the roster. The other has 4. Do you know who is who?
Tell me.
You know, Satan. You know what I'm getting at. There's only one team that can be Canada's team. One. And it is our beloved Edmonton Oilers. Of course, they have got plenty of Canadians on the roster, whereas the Canucks, many of their players just like to live in our wonderful country. At least that's what I've decided. Nobody told me that, nor is that written down anywhere except in my brain, and that's just what I'm going to say.
Do you want me to say it so it sounds like you don't say it?
That's all right, Zayden. It's fine. In other news, just to wrap up the news, I guess in other news, to wrap up the news, today was the NHL draft lottery, and for the first time in forever, I had no idea what was happening. I gotta say, it's pretty nice not having to even know what day it is, right? Yes. Today, the draft lottery to see who would get the privilege of drafting Macklin Celebrini. Hell of a name, by the way, on that kid. Hell of a name, Macklin Celebrini. The winner is... do we get a drum roll here? Let's do a drum roll, even though you've probably already seen the news. I'm going to do this anyway, because it makes me laugh. And a drum roll, please. The San Jose Sharks. They were terrible. They were absolutely terrible all season long. Frankly, they deserve to win. Better them than anybody else. Chicago Blackhawks picked number 2. I was worried Chicago was going to win it again, and that would have just been annoying to me, you know? That would have just been annoying. Rounding out the top 3 goes the Anaheim Ducks. Up next, the Columbus Blue Jackets in 4, Montreal Canadiens 5, Utah Football Club, hockey team, whatever they're going to be called. Utah is in at 6, Sens at 7, Kraken at 8, the Calgary Flames are at 9. Then it goes the Devils, the Sabres, the Flyers, the Wild, the Sharks again via the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Detroit Red Wings, and the St. Louis Blues to round out the top 16. Of course, our beloved Edmonton Oilers don't even have a pick in the first round, nor do the Canucks, nor do the Leafs. But the Flames have a couple. And chances are it's not going to help them for quite some time. I would also love if they were unable to draft Jarome McGinley's son. It would be very, very funny if the Seattle Kraken took him at number 8. Please make that happen, Hockey Gourds. I would just like to watch the Flames get hurt in a different way, right? Of course. Of course. Of course. Calgary, anything to say? Enjoying your off-season so far? And that's where we're going to wrap up the news. The news is brought to you by Star Mechanical. Their services and products they install are reliable, cost-effective, and efficient. They supply and maintain all the major brands like Lennox, Carrier, Goodman, Trane, and more. Their team of tradespeople are highly skilled and accommodating for their customers. Visit them at starmechanical.ca and have them help you keep your home running smoothly.
Name's Logan, bub. Smells like you're a bit spoiled. Better refresh your ear holes with another edition of Better Lait Than Never with Bag Milk.
Shout out to Captain Felton. What a bumper that is. He is checking in as Wolverine, I believe. No, that's what the button says. Captain Felton, Wolverine bumper. There you go. A new one in from the captain this week. I will be seeing him in Vancouver. If I'm not mistaken, Captain, are we not sitting together at the games? Or at least close to each other? I think that's what I heard. I think that's what I heard. Bets of the Week is brought to you by my friends at Bet365, a proud partner of Better Late Than Never. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Use the promo code OILYBONUS. We're the Oily Boys, giving you a promo code Oily Bonus. One more time, Oily Bonus. Two more time, Oily Bonus, Oily Bonus. All I'm thinking about is tomorrow's game one. So it is Tuesday evening as I'm recording this. If you're listening to this on Wednesday, think about this for tonight's game, would you? Cruising through what's available over at Bet365, and it's all Oilers on my mind. We're talking about the Oilers money line. That is just outright to win the game. Oilers money line is minus 130. That means the bettors are favoring the Oilers to win the game outright. I'm in on that. It is a simple bet. It is a pretty bet, but darn it, I feel like that's the move. I'm also going to get a little frisky, though, because you look at the Oilers puck line, which means they have to win by over 1.5. So they got to win by 2 goals or more. So Oilers puck line is plus 195. That one is a little bit juicier to me, a little bit sexier. So if I'm going to bet on the money line, that is my quote unquote, let's just ride this out. Let's just see who wins. The puck line is me getting a little bit frisky. There's also over 6.5 total goals. So that's both teams scoring a combination of 7 goals. So over 6.5 goals is even money. You bet $5, you get $5 back. I don't know that we're going to be going over 6.5 goals tomorrow. I think it's going to be closer than that. So when it comes to the over, the team totals, I'm just going to leave that one alone. I'm leaving that one alone. What I am looking at, though, is Connor McDavid, first goal scorer at plus 800. That means if he scores the first goal of the game, your boy is doing all right. And I believe that a guy like Connor McDavid, he's seen the chirps. He's seen himself get blasted by 10-year-olds on video. I think that is going to fuel him. I think he's going to be motivated. I think he's going to want to silence the crowd at Rogers Arena in Vancouver. And I like that move. So I've got Oilers puck line, Oilers money line, Connor McDavid first goal scorer. I am into it. Why? Because I opened an account with Bet365 and I can bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use the promo code OILYBONUS. Please bet responsibly. Big game coming up tomorrow.
You're listening to Better Late Than Never with Bagged Milk. If you're enjoying the podcast so far, our rating will be really appreciated. It helps it out. Thanks for listening. You're an awesome person, and whatever you do, do not listen to Satan. He gives bad advice.
I do not give bad advice, Ari. How dare you? Satan gives the best advice. Satan is the voice of the people. It's that deep, dark thing inside your mind that sometimes the intrusive thoughts, they win, and that's me taking over. Don't listen to Ari.
You want to see a man, boy? I'll show you a man. Kick me in the jimmy.
For Trilogy Oilfield Rentals, it's time for the Righteous Sack Beating. Of course, Trilogy Oilfield Rentals are an established provider of tools and expertise across multiple oilfield disciplines, specializing in rentals, pipe recovery, abandonments, and completions. Currently, they maintain full-time operating units in Provost, Weyburn, and Kindersley. What kind of tools do they have? Well, let me tell you. Rental tools, fishing tools, coil tools, drilling tools, mills and bits, completion tools, any tools for any job. Visit trilogyrentals.ca. What's bothering me this week? Nothing. I'm excited. Well, actually, no, there's a couple things that I'm thinking about. I was going to say, I don't actually have anything that's bothering me. I was going to do a righteous sack beating on something entirely fictional that I made up in my head. Instead, now that I'm thinking about it, this is a full week that the Oilers have not played. They finished off the Kings last Wednesday. It was last Wednesday I recorded an episode of BLTN saying this is a closing time. It is a elimination game. I believe the Oilers could do it, and they did do it. And for some reason, despite the fact that they were done a week ago, they are not playing game one until the Rangers-Hurricanes series has already got 2 games in the books. They're playing right now as I'm recording this. It is currently 3-2 for the Hurricanes, and it drives me nuts that that series has 2 games in the books before we even get started. The scheduling is unnecessary. The Oilers and Canucks could have got started yesterday, today, which is Tuesday. Pearl Jam was in Vancouver on Saturday and Monday, so okay, fine. You can't play Saturday. You can't play Monday. You probably don't want to take the stage down on Sunday. Okay, fine. There was no reason the Oilers and Canucks couldn't have got going last night on Tuesday. So what bothers me? The schedule. It doesn't make any sense. The Bruins eliminated the Leafs after the Oilers eliminated the Kings, actually by a handful of days, and they've already played a round 2 game. This schedule does not make any sense. Also, it annoys me I have to take the high road in this series against the Canucks because their fan base is just not fun to chirp because I don't think that they're on the same level in terms of caring about their team. The Canucks are very fair weather teams. I'm not saying that all of them are. Let's be honest. There's a lot of hardcore fans of the Vancouver Canucks. I see the analytics for CanucksArmy.com all the time. That website is hopping because people care about the Canucks. But they also have more fair weather fans than probably anyone else. If that team is poor, their arena is barely full. So taking the high road when all I want to do is stomp on their graves is bothering me. Maybe I got to wait until the end of round 2. Gord willing, our beloved Edmonton Oilers are going to get through in this series and move on to the 3rd round, and then I can stomp on their graves. But for the meantime, over the next week or 2, however long this series takes to complete, I'm going to stay quiet, I'm going to stay patient, and I'm going to lie in the weeds and wait. That doesn't mean that's any less annoying to me. I don't want to do it. I want to be carving everybody, but I think for the karma of our beloved Edmonton Oilers and the karma of the city and the team, I will maintain an even keel. I will take notes. I will take numbers. When as all is said and done, provided the hockey gourds send this series our way, a lot of you are going to get it. There's a lot of you that are going to get it. I've got a folder of screenshotted tweets. I've got names being written down. I'm biding my time. But right now, before the season starts, being patient is painful. So taking the high road during this series when I don't want to, I want to get into the mud, that sucks. But hey, that's a product of growth. Maybe I'm just getting a little older and a little wiser. But in the meantime, for Trilogy Oilfield Rentals, there's the right to sack beating.
You want to see a man, boy? I'll show you a man. Kick me in the jimmy.
You're listening to Better Late Than Never with Bagged Milk, where facts plus bollocks equals factor bollocks. Yes.
The voicemail is brought to you by nationgear.ca. Go check out the new Better Late Than Never hoodies. They are up. Saw a couple of you wearing them. I saw a couple of you took photos. You're very, very attractive to me. Gentlemen and ladies. All of you. You're very attractive to Bag Milk in your Better Late Than Never hoodies. Check them out, nationgear.ca. If you don't want one of those, we got plenty of other stuff. I recommend the Live, Laugh, La Bamba. Those are all up. Go check them out at nationgear.ca. Get some details on all of those. Also, if you are in the city or if you are in Vancouver, for game 1 and 2, if you're in Vancouver, come join us at Greta downtown in Vancouver. We're going to be recording a pre-game show just like we did in LA. We'd love to see you down at Greta. If you are here in Edmonton, if you are home for games 1 and 2, we're going to be doing away viewing parties. Those are free. Get there early because it is first come, first serve. Let's get to the voicemail. We've only got a handful, and I'm guessing because people don't know I'm recording today. Who be you, anonymous caller?
Mate, something needs to be said here, right?
All right.
I'm going to preface this, or
it's Dukes, not Dukes.
Preface it if you're feeling nasty, by saying that this is just a few hours, or I don't know, however many hours after the same fucking day for me at least that we'd eliminated the Kings. Fantastic, love the vibes, love everything.
Love it.
Fucking, I love being an Oilers fan. So
wish you were here, buddy. If the city is a different, you came in February and it was great to hang out with you then, but the city is a different animal when the Oilers are in the playoffs. Anyway, back to you, Dukes.
Fucking much. But what I don't like is all them cunts that after the game we lost jumped, Skinner say we're never going to win with this defense or this fucking goalie or this and that. Fucking blah, blah, blah. Now they're back on the bandwagon. Look, I love Skinner. I love Dono. Right? No, you can't have it both ways. if you're so bipolar that, you know, you are obsessively in love with a person, but then if we lose, you hate them as if they've ruined your life, that's a mental illness. Like, go and get yourself, like, talk to a therapist. I've been in therapy for like fucking literally more than 20 years. That's fantastic.
Sure.
I'm still crazy, but like I'm much less crazy because I have therapy. You know, if the Oilers lose, it sucks, but it's okay because I have therapy. But if you're one of them people, get some fucking help and you don't deserve the win.
Well, Dukes, I hope you heard last week's episode because I had to dole out some tough lessons in the voicemail. Nick, I'm looking at you. You're talking about who is poo-pooing on Skinner after game 2. Well, some people had to have some tough lessons, Dukes. Some tough lessons indeed. Though I do agree. Go to therapy. It helps.
All right. Can I just say, I just, you know, to add on to that, I sent that voicemail before I heard Nick's voicemail.
That's what I was wondering. I'm actually looking forward to hearing this now. Very much so. I'm going to go ahead and assume he blasts Nick for the back and forth, the flip-flop. Then I'm going to guess that he's going to say something about Nick, be better. Learn the lessons of your mistake. We'll see how close I get.
But now I've heard Nick's voicemail. I just want to send it a plea to, I don't know. Can someone please, like he said he's got no friends, so he needs to vent somewhere. Can someone please become that cunt's friend in real life so he doesn't have to vent to us? Like, imagine some 8-year-old who loves Batman, but reads a comic and gets to the end of it and be like, oh, no, I fucking hate Batman. Batman sucks. He did, you know, that was fucking terrible. Fuck Batman. You know, and then he reads the next comic and he's like, oh, no, just kidding. I love Batman. He's great. I don't know, man. Like, instead of telling this to the voicemail, tell it to a qualified therapist.
Hey, hang on. Yes, tell it to a therapist. But do not, Dukes, do not discourage people from venting in my voicemail. I can provide therapy. I mean, unlicensed therapy, of course. Nowhere near as effective as it would be if you actually spoke to a professional, but like, give me a chance. Come on, Dukes. Don't dissuade people from leaving their horrible takes in the voicemail. Come on, man. Trying to make a podcast here.
Like, no hate to you as a person, but hate to you as a voicemailer. Because, I don't know, man, we're on this awesome playoff run. Imagine coming into the playoffs, like, the team I love more than anything in the world is in the playoffs. I'm going to be mad about that. Fuck off. Anyway, I don't know. Fuck off. Just fuck off.
Yeah. What Duke said. Please keep leaving voicemails. Even if you're angry, I want to hear it. Dukes may not want to hear it, but I do. Is this another one from Dukes? Let me see.
Right. I just want to preface.
Are you in the tub? Are you having shit? Like a gross shit? Do you have a dietary issue? What is happening?
This by saying, like, I'm a huge mental health advocate. I base my whole life on, you know, mental
I need you to answer the question, man. Are you in the tub or are you having a disgusting dietary issue right now?
health is as important in a lot of circumstances, actually more important than physical health, depending here, there, whatever. Anyone who even thinks they might, you know, benefit for some mental health advice or help or whatever, please reach out. Like, it's the most important thing you'll ever do.
I agree with that. I don't know where he's going with the last 50 seconds of this voicemail, but I agree. Take care of your mental health. Speak to somebody. Don't have to do things alone.
And that goes for everyone on this planet except Nick. Mate, you don't deserve it. I hope you stew in the negativity that you fucking manifested after game 2 for the rest of your life. I hope your life is terrible.
How dare you? Nicky doesn't
you
mean
have
that.
ailments and aneurysms and all kinds of horrible things to plague you.
That is not true.
For the rest of your days.
He doesn't mean that.
Not really, obviously, but yeah, I hope you do well. Like I hope everyone else does well, unless they're a cunt. I don't want cunts to do well. I want them to suffer like they're cunts.
Mm-hmm.
But just further illustrates the fact that, hey, if you're so angry after an Oilers loss, get some help. Love you.
Man, poor Nick. 3 voicemails from Duke. I guess 2 voicemails from Duke where he just dunked on Nick. Poor Nick. Nick, I feel for you. I feel for you, buddy.
I hope that is a free lesson for you. Maybe don't get so mad after a loss. Or if you do go out and commit crimes, Satan would encourage you to commit crimes.
Satan, stop telling people to commit crimes. You can't, you rascal.
All right, you two. This next one comes in from Blowfish. It just says Blowfish. So we'll see. Who's Blowfish?
Hey, Bag Milk. This is the Blowfish.
Hello.
Haven't ever left a message here before, but I'm going to do so now.
Well, I appreciate you, Blowfish. Welcome to the show. Glad you're a listener. Glad you're a voicemailer. What do you got to say?
Listening for about a year and a half. Tried it out in the boat for the first time. Fishing last year, or a year or 2 ago.
Nice.
Thought, what the hell is this? It's like an audio version of a car wreck. You can't look away.
Yeah, that's about it.
It's awesome.
Thank
I
you.
love it. Yeah. Sent you a little message on X this morning. I don't really use X. Yeah, I bet you my Year of Nude shirt for a Hyman 50 shirt that Jay Woodcroft ends up as the head coach of the Kraken. Why not?
All right.
He can coach the rest of the Oilers. Anyway, love the podcast.
Thanks, buddy.
Let's go Oilers. Game 1, 7-2. Don't care who the opponent is. Nashville, Leon's got their number. Vancouver is going to be nervous. I think we got it 7-2.
I love that. It doesn't matter who they play. The Blowfish has got a touchdown going up on the board. We could figure out some kind of bet there. I actually agree that he's probably going to end up in Seattle. I think it's a good spot for Jay Woodcroft. So I feel like I would be betting with you more so than against you, Blowfish. Thank you for being a part of the podcast. Please keep leaving voicemails. Just, don't make Dukes mad, I guess. Next voicemailer, anonymous caller, who be you?
Yes, words are good. My brain's thinking words that my face can't keep.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord. I'm sure there's a song in there, isn't there? No, fuck it. Anyway, good afternoon. Might be in for the long haul if I don't have a stroke in the meantime. Yes. I'm sure I was going to say something really, really important.
Yeah, I believe so.
Nope. It's gone. Anyway. Yeah. It'll come back. Oh, for God's sake.
I just imagine what's going on in Donkey Volley's head is just like... That's just how he crafts his voicemails. That's his brain spitting shit out sometimes. This one's 29 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and guess it's another Donkey Volley. What do you think? Am I right? I'm probably going to be right.
Yes!
Yeah!
I was too busy procrastinating, and I saw a cat walk across the room.
Yeah.
Possibly my cat. I hope it is. Otherwise, I've been feeding it and paying vet's bills for a while. But anyway, procrastinated too far. Otherwise, I'll get sidetracked by the point I thought I was going to say. Oh, for fuck's sake. Shoes? Oh, for God's sake.
The ones where he just he starts running like an engine is starting to rev, right? Like there's going somewhere, and then we just kind of fizzle out and then the batteries die. That's the fun of Donkey Volley voicemails to me. I don't ever know what's going on. And I don't want to, frankly, Donkey Volley. I don't care. Whatever you want to say is what I want to hear. That's as real talk as I can get. Waz, what do you got to say, buddy?
Bag milk.
Yes.
Walked into a grocery store today.
Mm-hmm.
Shit was expensive.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is.
I don't even know what to say. One question for you, though, is when you go to the grocery store and you go to select your slices of cheese, what do you get? Like, do you get, like, the cheapest version possible, the no-name, very processed cheese? Or do you go with something a little bit more expensive, a little healthier? I don't know. I went with the healthier one, but you also get like only 12 slices of cheese. It's like $6. It's crazy. Like,
was.
So yeah, shit's expensive.
Yeah, shit. It's cheap, man. Going back to the early episodes of Better Late Than Never, we talked a lot of cheese in those early days, and I'm ready to talk about cheese with you here now. So, my approach when I go to the grocery store, when I'm buying cheese specifically, I think one of the first mistakes you made is you bought pre-sliced cheese. No matter which cheese you get, the more that cheese is prepared for you, the more expensive it gets, right? It's the same thing as if you buy pre-washed broccoli as opposed to just buying the crowns of broccoli. The crowns of broccoli are going to be cheaper than the pre-packaged washed broccoli because you don't have to do anything. You don't have to wash it or cut it yourself. They prey on our laziness, Waz, and that's what they did with you with the sliced cheese. Now, to answer the other part of the question, I do buy, if there's a cheese sale, I will load up on cheese for the cheese sale. However, I don't buy the cheapest cheese just because it is cheap. I buy the cheap cheese if it is the ones that I currently like. As an example, cheddar. Let's just pick a normal cheese that most people eat. Cheddar. I personally consume old cheddar. I like the way it tastes. I don't want light cheddar. I don't want medium. I want old. That's the one I want. I like the flavor. So if I see that all the cheeses are on sale, but the old cheddar is not on sale, I don't necessarily think I'm going to go buy a different cheese. But if the old cheese, cheddar, is on sale, I will scoop up more than one. Does that help you, Waz? Does that make sense to you? The thing I want you to take away from this, though, buy a brick of cheese, cut it yourself. You're going to save some money in the long run. I hope I taught you something today. Anonymous caller, who be you?
Yes, moment of clarity.
Of course.
Good afternoon. Sorry about the last couple of messages. I got sidetracked by my own idiocy. But what I really wanted to say before I got sidetracked by yet another point of intrinsically ridiculous insecurity, he says, fuck. Right. Does anyone fancy a cuddle?
Yes.
Good Lord.
I didn't know that was an option. Again, Donkey Volley, if it's not the one I played before, it's kind of like this. What's going on in your head, Donkey Volley? Do you got something to say? That's kind of how it goes. And that's why I love him. Doggy Volley, don't ever change, and don't let anybody tell you to change either. We got another anonymous caller here. If this is Donkey Volley again, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Right, yes. If you play these in the wrong order, it's going to sound like I'm a rambling idiot. Imagine. God, here we go. Right, yes. The point I was trying to make before I absolutely rambled pointlessly before procrastinating a little bit, which I am doing now, I admit. Oh, for God's sake. Yes, just don't play these in the wrong order. Otherwise, it's going to sound ridiculous. And you'll make me sound like an absolute quib. I mean, imagine. Oh, God. What was I trying to say? Right, yes, no. Oh, for God's sake.
How many meats are there?
Play them in the right order, otherwise this is going to make no sense, which it probably doesn't, but, it's all good. Yes.
Now I'm confused about the order. Like, I honestly don't know that the order of the messages played would make any difference at all. I just don't think it would. That's the nice part about Donkey Volley. It's like watching Family Feud. You can pop in at any point in the show. Whatever's happening is happening. And it doesn't always have to make sense. As long as Steve Harvey's there and the gang's all there and they got the questions and they ask the people on the street, that's all that matters. Donkey Volley, you know what I mean. Ben, what do you got to say?
Quick headphone warning for headphone users. Let's go, baby! Oilers knock off the Kings. I am a couple days late. It's currently Sunday. Pretty sure we now know.
Take some time to let things marinate, though. You know what I mean? You gotta let that roll around your brain, Ben. Collect your thoughts, then you leave a voicemail. I get it.
Games on Tuesday. We did good. Happy that we were getting the rest that we deserved. Playing Dallas. I prefer them over Vegas. And I think knock on wood there. We beat them in oh yeah, that is not me peeing, by the way. That's the fish tank.
Yeah, it's a fish tank. Lest anybody think Ben is peeing.
What do we want to say? I'll say we beat them in 6. Yeah.
All right.
Knock on wood.
Ben's going to Oilers in 6. He also thinks the Oilers are going to beat Dallas. I'm not worried about Dallas or Colorado until we get through Vancouver. Again, job's not finished. Game 1 tomorrow. That's where my focus is at. Next voicemail, anonymous. I hope it's Donkey Volley again. I hope the order matters on this one. I really, really do.
Okay. Now I'm really starting to be neurotic. The word quim, by the way, Quim, quim, it's not derogatory. Well, it is, obviously. Lady pop thing. It's self-derogatory. I'm a quim. Yeah, I'm a quim. For God's sake. Right. Yes. I've written it down somewhere.
You've written what down? I don't believe it.
For fuck's sake. It was great as well. I'm sure it was. Bollocks. Anyway, on with the show.
What is that guy ever talking about? You know what I mean? Satan just doesn't understand him. Satan doesn't understand why you allow Donkey Volley on the voicemail with minutes of content that doesn't really go anywhere at all.
That's exactly why I do it. It's like peeking into a brain that's full of colors and rainbows. That's all. I love it. I love it.
I'm very confused. You have some very scary strangers in the voicemail. At Canucks Conversation, we never do that. Please subscribe to the podcast.
Yeah, nobody's going to do that, Quaz. This is generally an Oilers podcast.
What if we start talking about Milf Manor there, too? Then people will have no choice. I still have to learn what a MILF is, though.
I told you we're going to tell you when you're older. When you turn 16 years old and you're old enough to drive a car, we'll let you know what Milf Manor is.
That sounds like a deal. Thanks, Satan. Only 10 more years to go.
Last voicemail for nationgear.ca. Oh, we got a tie game here. Rangers and the Hurricanes. We are tied in New York. Last voicemail is from Kyle the Embalmer. If he doesn't do it, go check out his Twitter account. I've retweeted him. Go donate some money. There's somebody out there who beat my bid, I should say. And it just says, beat bag milk. And that was the high bid. And I respect it. If that's what you want to do, I appreciate it. Kyle, over to you.
Hello, BM.
Hello.
So it's currently Monday night. We are still, of course, waiting for the Oilers to start fucking playing. The NHL is a fucking joke.
Yep.
We should be already playing Vancouver probably tonight. Pearl Jam tomorrow or whatever it was. Anyway, I'm going to predict Oilers in 6.
I got Oilers in 6
my prediction
too.
for that series. On the another note, just a quick update, I guess, on my campaign for running for the Stollery.
Yeah.
I slacked off a little bit over the weekend. I did a little run on Friday before an appointment and then going out that night, but over the weekend I didn't do any, so I tried to make up for it today and went out and did 11K.
You did
that.
You did 11K in one day. That is like, that's no joke.
Hurt, but I'm currently $8 short of making it halfway to my goal. So I'm about halfway to finishing the kilometers I have to do based on donations. So I'm going to need some more donations to come in so I can do some more running. You can hit me up, Kyle the Embalmer on Twitter, and click the pinned post. It's right there. And until then, let's go Oilers and
left us hanging. Yeah, Kyle the Embalmer on Twitter. Kyle the Embalmer on Twitter. I just retweeted it. If you follow me, go give a donation over to Kyle's campaign for the Stollery. It is millionreasons.run. Millionreasons.run. Again, Kyle the Embalmer on Twitter. Trying to help him raise some money for the Stollery. Of course, they got a fantastic organization over there. Keep checking in, Kyle. Let us know how you're doing. The goal is to reach $2,000. We are almost halfway there, trying to help Kyle raise some money for a fantastic cause, and that's how we're going to end the voicemail. The voicemail brought to you by nationgear.ca. The BLTN hoodies are up there, as are the Live Laugh La Bombas. Those are my personal favorite right now, as well as the Oil Up playoff gear is there as well. If you are in Vancouver for games 1 and 2, check us out at Greta downtown. Well, we're going to be there around 5 o'clock. 4:30, 5 o'clock Pacific time. Join us for the pre-game show. And that's the podcast. It's Tuesday night. We got it out a little bit early. I hope you enjoy. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to try and give you a bonus episode from Vancouver. If not, maybe I'll do a quick recap when I get home on the weekend. Let's go Oilers. 4-2 win coming in game 1. Remember, let's stay quiet. Let's lie in waiting and let the Canucks fans make assholes of themselves. And when our beloved Edmonton Oilers get through this round, we can dunk on them mercilessly. Does that make sense? Is that fair? I think so. And because I'm in a loving spirit, we're going to wrap up the podcast, not with the Tie Tie Won't When You Kiss Me song, but with the late serenade from Donkey Volley.
Your ears are sexy, even bag milk thinks isn't true. Is Donkey singing? Welcome to Better Late Than Never. To Better Late Than Welcome to Better Late Than Never. Welcome to Better Late Than Never. Good afternoon, yes. Yes, good afternoon.
Take that, Kendrick and Drake. Come on.